Hey YouTube, this is Andrew. This is my first time making a video. I'm just gonna do a series of videos about probably me doing some duels, but I just want to start off by showing you one of the decks that I built. I don't know how many people know about this one, but this is Fortune Ladies. They were introduced in the 5Ds anime, and they basically revolve around swarming the field very efficiently. They have a very powerful draw engine, and they're overall just pester your opponent. They also have a very good area of denial in terms of the monster card zone. However, their weakness is the spell and trap card zone, where they can easily be negated. If their effects are negated, Fortune Ladies are very useless because their attack and defense, as you can read with Fortune Lady Dark here, their attacks and defense are based on their level. If they don't have that effect, they are worthless, basically. So, let's start off with the first card. I just chose an Envoy at the beginning because I have a fair amount of dark and light monsters in here, and actually, this deck is designed to have cards banished or leave the field because at least the version I've built, is totally reliant on Fortune Lady Light. Not totally, but it's very, very centered around this. Because combining Fortune Lady Light with the field card for Future Visions, you normal summon Fortune Lady Light, she's removed from the field, then you can activate her effect, special summon another Fortune Lady. And then there's cards that get her back, like, say, Fortune's Future. So the second card I threw in was the Earthbound Immortal Hummingbird. Not going to try and pronounce that name. And this is just good because, as a whole, Fortune Ladies don't have a lot of good beatdowns. And this offers just a much more attack-directed strategy if you need to. And you have 3 field spells and a terraforming in there, just that way you can get it out if you have this in your hand. So first Fortune Lady is Fortune Lady Dark. Fortune Lady Dark is one of the key cards in this deck also because when a Fortune Lady monster you control destroys a face-up opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon for your graveyard. This makes it very easy to special summon light, fire, water, whatever you need, and keeps the field active, and also just pesters your opponent and allows effects to activate. Fortunately, Earth is kind of one of the ones people are controversial about. You have people who say, "Hey, you need it. Why aren't you running 2, maybe even 3 of those?" I personally say, you need 1. It is a beatdown. That's all it's very good for. It's got a little bit of burn damage, but unless you're drawing this when you need to, a finisher blow or something, I recommend only keeping 1 in the deck. Fire is another controversial one because it's very weak, and its effect needs to be special summoned in attack distances by the effect of a Fortune Lady card to activate its effect. So a lot of people would say, if you're going to throw it in, sideboard it. I'd say, yeah, might as well mainboard it, because you only need 1 in there, so if you get it in your hands like, okay, I have it, it's never a bad thing to have a Fortune Lady, and it doesn't really slow down the deck at all. And if your opponent summons that card, which we all know there's always that one card that you're like, oh, come on, I didn't know you'd have that, you can prepare for it. Light is one of, as I said, the key functions because when it's removed from the field, now that means by a card effect. So that means if it goes to your hand, it's banished, sent to the graveyard, sent into the deck, whatever, its effect activates. So it allows you for a very consistent special summon effect here. The other one that I run through of is Fortune Lady Water. This is the base of the draw engine of the deck, which is basically when you have when this is special summon, we have another Fortune Lady except for water, draw 2 cards. You draw 2 cards. It's that easy. You've given yourself a card advantage over your opponent. Um, Next is Fortune Lady Wind. Normally I would sideboard this, but just for the purpose of keeping all the Fortune Ladies in one spot, I threw in my main board for this. Fortune Lady Wind. Some people are controversial about this one. I don't like it personally because the first part of the effect, normal summoned, right there, slows it down too much. You save your normal summons for Fortune Lady Light, for a Summoner Monk, you don't use it on Wind. The reason I even sideboard it is just because if your opponent's running a very heavily spell and trap card based deck, this allows you to deny them quite a bit. Um, Sorcerer of Dark Magic is another card that people say, why are you running that? Because it's very easy to get a level 6 out. You have 2 level 5s that next turn are going to be level 6. You have 1 level 6 already. And, I mean, you have 4s. It's not likely you'll get them there, but still, you have 4 cards that are very easy to get it to that level 6 you need. And Sorcerer of Dark Magic is 1, 3200 attack. That's very powerful. And when a card effect is activated, you can negate that. I find that to be very useful because it's not just once per turn. It's either plays turn, trap card, your choice. Like it or not, you can choose. But most of the time I just personally negate it. But this helps deal with the fact that Fortune Ladies can't deal with spells and traps very effectively. Summoner Monk, I run two personally. Some people only run one. I think you have enough spell cards to justify it, and if you and you need to get those fortune lays out quickly. So if you have a dead draw hand where it's you end up with, you know, the Earthbound Immortal, the Blackluster Soldier, the Sorcerer Dark Magic, and a couple of trap cards, this gives you a little bit more of an option. And also, you can special summon Fortune Lady Water, draw two cards, get some more options out there. Lore of Darkness. People are very against me using this when I play. They say, "Why on earth would you run that?" Because I have plenty of dark monsters, so I can banish them. I have cards to return those dark monsters, and overall, if cards get sent to the graveyard, that's just more fodder for Dark to do her little thing. Bound 1 is an equip spell, and I think it's perfect for Fortune Ladies because it's for spellcasters. They're all spellcasters, and it's based on level, so they're constantly getting just a tad bit stronger every turn. And if the card would be destroyed by my opponent's card or effect or battle, the monster that this is equipped to is special summoned. So it's kind of like a quick little shield there that you need. Dark Hole is pretty effective because, it's Dark Hole, but also you can use it when Light's on the field without hesitation because you know you're going to have another card on the field and you can get direct attack. So that's an instance where I would keep Earth. That's why I would keep Earth. So I Dark Hole the field, special summon Earth. Bam, I have a 2400 attack on my opponent. Um, Different Dimension Gate's another very interesting one because it allows you to banish both your card, Fortune Lady Light, and your opponent's card. So this has potential to give you an open field, and then you special summon use Fortune Lady Light, special summon your card. You can attack directly, or you can even activate Fortune's Fusion and draw two cards from that, and you have options there. And then there's Dimension Hole, which says select one monster on your side of the field, move from play to the next standby phase. Yeah, use that on light. Or if you have a card, if you have a dead draw hand, but you know you can just normal summon. If you have Earthbound Immortal and you have just one other card in your hand, and you have 1 week on the field, it's kind of iffy. You can use this. You might take some damage, but you have another card on the field, so you can get Earthbound Immortal out more easily. Next is Fortune Fusion. This is the other part of the draw engine, overall at least in this deck, which is remove from play, select one you remove from play Fortune Ladies, draw two cards. Self-explanatory. Future Visions. So I've explained how this works with Fortune Lady Light. It banishes the card, and then special summons it again. This also works with Fire. That's her specific effect, kind of ish, but it's really good for monster denial also because a lot of card combos nowadays start with you have to normal summon this monster and then you can do 30 other things. Well, this card says, no. Magical Dimension is probably one of my favorite spell cards of all time, just because it's an old school and it's very effective in this deck. Target spellcaster, hey, look, we have spellcasters everywhere. Tribute that target. Hey, look, Fortune Lady Light. She's being tributed. She goes to graveyard, special summon a card. Special summon one monster from your hand. Oh, look, you have two cards on the field, and then destroy one on the field. So it's basically a better version of Different Dimension Gate, but Different Dimension Gate is a little more consistent because if you don't have a spell card in your spellcaster in your hand, you can activate a Different Dimension Gate still. MST, it's a standard. I only throw one because I have a variety of different little denial cards in there for the spell and trap card zone, and if I threw too many more in, it would unbalance the deck. Nova of Crossout, you can use this on a set Fortune Lady Light, or if your opponent's running stuff like Shaddolls or Maneater Bug, if anyone still runs that. This is an effective way to say, I'm not going to take that chance. Terraforming, add future visions to your hand. Self-explanatory. Time Passage. Works in a variety of ways. So either you can use it with Fortune Lady Earth to make her a very big beatdown stick, and it's very effective. I use this in a couple duels to finish it off. Or you can use it to get some of your lower levels up for some of the Xyz, because most of these levels are between 4 and 5, and I think I have a few level 6s in there too. Wonder Wand, this is the other spell equip card in the deck, and it's equipped to Spellcaster. Hey, look at that, Spellcaster's Galore. Gains 500 attack. If you control the equipped monster and this card, send both to graveyard, draw two cards. Adds a little bit to the draw engine, and if you combine it with Light, then, hey, look at that, you could special summon another card. Bending Destiny was one of the other cards that was designed for Fortune Lady, and I personally don't like this card very much because activate only if all you control are Fortune Ladies. I've adjusted this deck because if you're running a sole Fortune Lady deck, you have lost your ability to adapt. Your opponent throws a skill drain, you have lost the game. And it's only really effective against the normal summoning of a monster because spell a trap card, it just brings it back to the owner's hand during the end phase. So it's not effective with that, but normal summon of a monster, it at least allows you to, if they're tribute summoning, it's slowed them down for a turn. Call the Haunted, you can use this with Fortune Lady Water, because she special summoned this. There happens to be another on the field, you could get her draw 2 cards. Or, you know, there's always the you lost a good monster, you use Call the Haunted. Um, Next is Dark Bribe, another standard negation card. I just like this one. It's pretty easy to use. Ga Shield. Um, Mostly spellcasters again. Twice per turn cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. This card, though, you have to be very careful not to play on light because of the way it's worded. You don't have the option of whether or not it's going to be destroyed or not. It cannot be. So you don't want to equip this to light unless you're using her for some reason as a barrier monster, which you shouldn't be doing in the first place because it won't let you use her effect unless you have something that says banish her or add her to the hand. Inherited Fortune. So this is a card I like to keep 2 of just because a lot of these cards, as you can tell, are weaker. So you play this card, special summon 2 the next turn. You have an easy way to get out your Earthbound Immortals, or you can just simply use it because, hey, I lost a monster, I can use this. And if you were to say, I don't know, Dark Hole the Field, activate Inherited Fortune, when Fortune Lady Light was destroyed, you have a lot of cards coming next turn. Torrential Tribute, this works with Light very well, and you can chain that with Inherited Fortune. And also, it's a very nice way to say, screw you to your opponent when he tries to use Synchro Monster. The sideboard, normally it would be Fortune Lady Win, and you could probably throw in a Fortune Lady Fire also if you want to have an extra one just in case. This is a card that I run in almost every one of my side decks. Side Blocker. This works as basically a monster version of the Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell because cards with that name and their effects cannot be used until that turn. So this card is actually very effective because you can negate those effects. So if you have a card that has those same effects, it's very effective at annoying them. Alchemic Magician for the extra deck. It's 3 level 4 spellcasters. It's not too difficult to get out because of the amount of special summoning you do, and you can adjust, the levels can be adjusted. And that's the other thing I could say you want to throw in the sideboard or main board if you really want to. If you want to shift the focus away from Fortune Lady Light and a little bit more on the XDs, there's a couple cards like level tuning, I believe it is, where you can where you can add one or subtract one to the level. I don't recommend that because if you play around with their levels too much, you might lose the attack advantage if you need to, and you might find, oh, I still can't do what I need. The reason I like this card, gains 200 attack for every spell card in your graveyard. You're going to have a lot of spells in your graveyard by the end of this game. And detach one, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. So you wouldn't use light in this instance, but you might throw a fire in there or something so you could use dark effect. And then choose a spell card for your deck, set it. So that way you could use something like, oh, Magical Dimension, have that down there. Lava of Chain, just it's a good card to be able to get cards from your deck to where you want them to be, and it's only 2 level 4s, so it's not too difficult. Uh, this one it may be OCG right now, but I threw it in there because I like this idea. And this is 2 level 6 spellcasters. It's very simple. Once again, same with the Sorcerer of Dark Magic. This I see as an alternative to that. If you don't have that in your hand, but you have these ready for it, you can throw this on. Take control of one of your monster your opponent controls, or target one of your opponent's graveyard special summon to your side of the field. This is a pretty effective card in my opinion. Norito, the Moral Leader. Uh, when your opponent activates a spell trap card, negate it. Very strong for this deck because it helps with that negation of the spell trap card zone, and it's got 2700 attack. It's pretty powerful. Utopia, I like to throw him in there just because level 4s aren't too difficult to get out, and if you're in a situation where your opponent's got a lot of high attack monsters, Utopia is a good card to have. I wouldn't recommend playing him over certain other cards, but as a situational card, he's very effective there. Uh, Volcasaurus, 205s, once again, not too difficult to get those out. Detach one, destroy your opponent's monster, inflict damage equal to that monster's attack. So your opponent's special summons a really powerful monster. No. And overall, it's just a very effective card. And then Zen mains. This one's a little harder to get out, which is why I only recommend putting one in your sideboard. I mean your extra deck because Zen mains are kind of expensive. But yeah, Zen mains effect, just a good way to act as a blocker when you are in one of those sticky situations. So yeah, that's my Fortune Lady deck right now. as a whole, this deck's been very consistent for me, and I hope you guys like this. I plan on making more videos of this, not this particular deck, maybe, but other cards in decks too. Comment if you like this video or if you want me to build a particular deck. Thank you.